Morning, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. Nice little 3-day weekend there. Hopefully everyone's relaxed up and ready to go for this week. We've got news every single day this week, so hopefully it should be pretty solid compared to last. I sent out the daily bias post. We're looking at favoring IRL to ERL. We have sales liquidity pools from last Friday as well as just today, 8 p.m. So all these relative equal pools, even down to Asian session from Sunday, is in the bad. Why does it say Monday? This is not right. Anyways, all these session liquidity pools down below. Now we already have SMT forming at the highs up here between the 811 high and ES. So as long as that holds, we've already got our major indication we want to move lower. ES also has stacked liquidity pools all the way down to basically 5,309, which would be Monday's PM session low. And so far we've already got displacement through. I want to see it hold through this bearish order block. That would be your 5-minute change in state of delivery. And then potentially look to short before the news comes out. Targeting any of those pools below us. Obviously here's another ERL down here too. On the hourly chart though, I was watching this last down closing candle, since it was a high resistance liquidity run. As we approach into this gap, look at these last down closing candles instead of the first one holding. So trades into there, trades all the way up down to last down closing, all the way up the last down closing here. So assuming we close through it, then we should reach for, I'd favor whatever this is, the Monday London low, just because of how much consolidation is formed here. So what is that? 18,859 down into this pool. Let me send that to predictions chat too. If there's consolidation on the hourly chart in here, you expect a daily PD ray below it. So if you go to the 1 day, you have a bullish order block here. Nothing crazy though. Even on the 15-minute chart, it's pretty. Actually, you probably go to the 4-hour. Yeah, just same thing. Bullish order block for value gap down here too. You can see the kind of market maker sell model in here. There's your first fair value gap. Still plenty of room to run. But I'm favoring a macro entry for the news driver, or potentially after the news. Yep, 927, 933. Nice short off the SMT. Inversion gap over here too. So we're disrespecting the bullish ones. I told you in the morning, I like the low resistance liquidity that was forming up here. So whenever you see these lows that are not piercing one another, kind of just, you can think about this as trailing stops. So you want to trailer stop there, there, there. All that's low resistance. So there's a lot of sell liquidity building below there. A lot of times you'll see a market maker sell model or buy model form off of that. Even here, all these highs, same exact idea, trailing the highs, and then pierces it with a news driver on the second stage of distribution. So back up into premium. Let's check the other guys. Still 5 minutes left on this 15-minute candle. YM is just selling off there, as expected. Not really following suit. And DXY is starting to trade up. So I'm still favoring the downside movement. I don't think I'd like a long in this scenario unless we can pierce the ERLs and then form a 1 minute market structure shift. If we're kind of just hovering around here, we start to reverse. I'm not liking the framework of just going from internal range to back up to internal range. I mean, we do have London high on ES that was not pierced. And then NASDAQ shallow sweeped it. Like over here. 2-minute chart, you'll see. So just a wick there. Normally that's not enough. You want to see a secondary sweep. We want to watch how the SMT forms at the bottom. Back out into the inversion fair value gap in the bearish order block. Close my trade from 934 to 936. Nice. Nice so short off the breaker. Now, if we drop all the way into these ERLs, I'm not going to short it either. That's too far into discount past the ERLs. So there's only really a couple scenarios that I'm looking for today. Is that we stay in this kind of premium area, maybe dig up into the IRL one time, and then we can look to short into the ERLs. Or if we pierce these in the next couple minutes here, and we have SMT, then a 1 minute market structure shift, change in state, all that kind of stuff, then you could use the news to go long, even up to further into the gap. If you go to the 15-minute chart, there's actually 2 gaps. This one up here, which is the further premium IRL. Can extend this out too. You have 8:30 news, I think, on Thursday and Friday. Yeah. So tomorrow may be a little difficult just since we have orange folder. Normally after a bank holiday, it can be a little rough, but since we have 10 a.m. news today, it should like cancel out, I guess you could say. And so far, price action hasn't been terrible. Still no closure below the 5-minute CISD. Although the 1 minute's pretty bearish. We've been holding the player shorter block here. Saw the backtesting stream yesterday. What are you guys cooking up if they're in here? I don't know. We'll probably run another backtesting stream, like a public one, either later today or tomorrow. If you got any questions, you want to put them up in a Q&A post, we can go over those. Otherwise, it's a different model I wanted to showcase. Just a hypothetical one. Didn't do a whole lot of backtesting on it in like 2 weeks or so. So if you're interested in that, it's a 930 model. Turning down into the ERL here. We do have SMT between ES and NASDAQ. So ES failed to reach into their Asian low. If I pull it up over here, you'll see. So there is some SMT there. That's substantial because it is a high quality ERL. There's your second one. So we got half of what we wanted. A little too early though. At least for my liking. So daily bias is almost complete there. For the first 15 minutes or so. But I'm still favoring the bearish SMT at the highs. Just because, oh, there goes ES's Asian low. Just since of, if you look at this swing high into 930, failing to reach up into premium and just digging into this discount out of the fair value gap is important. right? We're not trading all the way up into premium, so we expect a deeper run into discount. They still have to offset their orders from up here, taking out the lunch high, even the Asian high, London high, back up into sell side. Now, if we do consolidate at the bottom, it'll be a little bit harder to scalp anything. Yeah, the 930, the re-entry, nice. Yeah, pretty good start to the week. Yeah, now 10 a.m. Depends on how much further we drop. Remove another ERL. Where is it? Yeah, we got Asian all the way down here. YSMF is cooking. Jeez. Off the inversion gap. Good stuff. All right, so we got the bearish SMT. 5-minute candle already printed bearishly. 945. We have plenty of gaps in here. Now there's no breaker, so it would favor a run back up into premium if you want to look at a shorting opportunity with the macro. Up in here. This would be short-term premium. Yeah, stabbed bear, short black and reversed. Looking good. Notice how DXY does have some original consolidation up here too. If we're bullish on DXY. Did have an internal range liquidity sweep here. If we dropped onto a lower time, we'll see it. So right in here. So realistically, all it needs to do, if we're in a market maker buy model, is fill a gap once. We have a gap in here. It's not in discount, but we do have a mitigation block over here. Trade into it and climb all the way up. Soup and tax money. Short off of the, right off the buy side. What time frame is that on? 5? Yep. I'm assuming fib extensions, right? Holding those kind of moves in time. Towards 955, you get a low. Occasionally when you have a 930 setup, short. All right, so fib here. Still lining up with this premium imbalance. Approaching the 950 macro. Didn't have an internal range stop sweep yet. So best case scenario, you get something like this. High put in, and then a continuation market maker sell model on a lower time frame. That's really the only thing I'm favoring right now, unless we have a clear reversal, which we would need to trade through this gap, preferably all the way past the 939 order block. Partials do pay. There's nothing wrong with taking partials. It's all about, it's like a muscle, holding runners. You got to take partials, take them further and further and further until you're more comfortable holding the longer runs. But also at the same time, you do need to capture the full thing. Like if you're content with 50, 60 points, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Eventually you'll hold for the 200 point runs, but that may be a year from now, could be 2 years from now. It's definitely a difficult thing to hold when you're up that much. Just forcing yourself not to pull out. Pause. So this gap is too far into discount. I wouldn't like a short off this. Really only this here. We do have this bearish order block that should hold us down. So like a stop placement above 30 points or so. ES still has plenty of room to run. We have Asian, London, and New York lows all stacked on top of each other. Right over here. So still plenty of ERL. We are within macro time. And 18,877 is the limit I'm looking for. Good at holding stop loss though. Are we all? Yeah, no stop loss, full port. That's the best move. Do have a sibi here. Now this would be, you got a turtle soup here. Sorry. SMT with the turtle soup. I still see this as your first stage of distribution in the sell model. So I would like to see at least one fair value get filled and then sell up like an unaggressive last time. No stop run. And we can get down into these liquidity pools. So it makes sense for us to reach into short-term premium one last time, especially with this 5-minute fair value gap starting to form. 945 candle printing bearishly. We got fair value gap in there. Yeah, head and shoulders pattern too. Yeah, not financial advice. I also don't care if this turtle soup happens down here. We do have the news driver at 10 a.m. Do something really quick. I didn't have a breakaway gap form over here. Guess this is the first one. Measuring gap. One standard deviation down here. 2 to 2.5. I don't even know what that lines up with. Saw some liquidity from Friday. They did go from T1 or T2 to T1 settlement. It shouldn't change anything. So if you guys are freaking out, it's not going to do anything. If anything, it'll be faster. Eventually, they'll have to go to a T0 settlement. So it'll be instant settlement, which that may actually speed up the algo. I don't know how it's going to speed it up. or if it's really going to change anything. It's not going to change it to an extent where it's unreadable. If anything, it'd be easier. But that'll be interesting. That'll probably happen in the next 2 to 3 years, I assume. But I mean, if price action gets any better, we'll definitely know about it. That's true. Bitcoin is T0 and it works over there. Although it's a little rough and there's consolidation periods that are longer. But yeah, that's very true. Look how we're holding the sibi, closing all within the discount end of it. Put the middle line on. Do have some SMT there. I'm just not liking entering before the news if we don't get up into premium. I could see this pop up like we did on Friday. Basically the same exact price action we got. There's a tiny inversion gap over here that I'm watching, as well as this change in state. So if we use that as a bullish order block, you got to be careful. There's a tiny inversion gap there. All the candle bars are holding that and filling it. Watch this down closing candle too. It's a potential change in state. Is there a reason for us to reverse? Well, we have larger dealing range here. Between now here and here. 15-minute fair value gap in premium would still be this one I'm favoring. But we do have a tiny gap right in there from this 15-minute sibi that's forming. So ERL to IRL. But I'm still not favoring any long opportunity unless we get a outright reversal. 10 a.m. news maybe climbs above this order block. Breaker. Basically the same setup you got on Friday. I can pull that up quickly. Monday, Friday. Here. Sold off. Shorting opportunity. And then 10 a.m. news climbed all the way through the breaker. Entry long on the premium end of the breaker with the gap formed. That's the only potential long setup I see this morning. Otherwise, I mean, it may just be no setup, no trade for me at least. If you got any good stuff. Two minutes till the news. This same exact idea on this 954 candle. Watch how we use that a potential bullish order block. DXY following suit with our buy so far. Trading up into the buy side. NASDAQ is the only one that's kind of weaker. YM up at premium. ES is wilting lower. NASDAQ's kind of just waiting here. How many points do we have till news? To the low, 25-ish points. Still enough to run, but 40 seconds. Still holding this bullish order block. Let's see what the news does. The news is going to do some crazy stuff, I assume, to DXY. Not a whole lot of movement. What happened to DXY? Oh, there we go. Just lagging. It's not a ton of movement. Still didn't reach into premium. I would like if this 5-minute gap is also filled. which lines up nicely with it. Also have the high and low put in for the opening range. I guess we do have some low resistance here. It's all dependent on if DXY wants to reverse or not. But we do have a gap. Is that what is a new? I don't even know what that is. Relative equal buy setup there too. So I mean, it's not too much of a reason to reverse. CL looking sexy. What they cooking up over there? I do like this. And 5-minute Casal down here. And London low. You're right. So moving lower off the news. Didn't get any premium run. So I've been flat for today. If though we do trade into this tiny gap, that'll be short-term premium. I want to say we use that bear shorter block. DXY still popping up. ES just did sweep their previous session lows. So you look for a short-term premium. Let's take a look at ES. This is your volume imbalance there. I'd like to see a 5-minute bearish for value gap fill. One in here and short-term premium. I think ES just traded up into, sorry, NASDAQ just traded up to short-term premium. There you go. So we'll see what we want to do off that. Still the ERL down here. So from premium down to ERL, we have 44 points down to 1883. Bullish SMT. Let's take a look. Do have some there at the lows, yeah. Right at 1002. Although as long as we're holding this 5-minute gap, same thing on NASDAQ. We can trade a little bit further up into NASDAQ just because the ES premium is a little bit further up. So if there's a bear shorter block within this wick, that's fine. Like 3-minute, there you go. 3-minute fair value gap with the bear shorter block here. Let me screenshot this really quickly. Let's go to the 3-minute mark off that order block. So watch we trade into the bearish order block. Now, preferably we don't even trade up into premium of this gap, if you want to call it this gap in here. This has been efficiently filled. buying and selling. So if you split this order block in half, probably the bearish side of it should hold. So I'm still aggressively trading up. YM's got a market maker sell model forming. It's the only reason I'm still kind of bearish. Nice mitigation block in here too. Don't need to trade into premium. Short-term sell side down here too, with the AM low. Now I'm curious with CL. Yep, market maker sell model. If you're gonna look at that, I can screenshot it and send it to non-indices. Down to London low. I haven't posted that chat in a while. We also have some kind of 15-minute second stage of distribution. I would say so, yeah. Since we got that internal range stop sweep up here. Go back to the 15-minute chart. Stop sweep for value gap. I would favor that as a second stage of distribution. At least down into that. Still have consolidation down here too. Even some gaps in here. In discount of that daily range. Largely range between here and here. So the London low from Friday up to London high basically is your discount for value gap. So reacting off the order block nicely. What is it down at? 18,814. $18,833. Just marking these levels out. So if you're still looking for a short bias, obviously you need to see these flip to inversion gaps. Future inversion gaps. Though it'll be a little bit high resistance just because we have these inefficiencies too. If I get seconds time frame, it's over. Hey Flux, where do you have your stop here? Now, preferably, stop would be above this entire order block, the 1 minute one. So even the candle body of 18,910 would make sense. Even up here, 18,908, if you're looking at shorts. It is definitely not as high quality as you'd like to see. We're exiting the macro time here. We are in premium. But it's just a little sloppy. DXY is coming off now. I'm slowly trading into these gaps, closing bullishly above here. The 5 minute is really the only thing that's holding this. You know, if you want to look at it visually, or the 3 minute here. I mean, you could rely on time now, 10:30 to 11 o'clock. but it's not the best setup, I would say. Especially since it was after 10 o'clock. I'm going to mark out actually 50% of this. We are holding the bullish PD raise, flipping this to inversion. Got this bisi holding 10.05. If you don't close through the 10.08 candle, I would nullify the trade system or the short system. So future change and stay down here. But look how we're just consecutively closing up, holding these bullish order blocks. Oh, 15-minute chart, let's see. We are within the 15-minute gap too. Boring stuff. So if you want to mark out 50% of this really quick. Still not closing above it. As soon as you get a closure above there, wouldn't be interested anymore, especially since it lines up with the 3-minute. So watch how we can close through here. Now it's a low probability order block. We don't have a fair value gap next to it. This is actually the highest probability order block within this entire range. But if we get all the way down into discount here, should confirm the bias short. And look at the higher time frame. This still, to me, looks bearish. I would find it a higher time reversing, creating relative equal lows with the Asian low of yesterday, and not even reaching discount of the higher time frame dealing range. All within the New York session. So this gap is still of interest to me. Even on the 4-hour, you go to the 4-hour, let's really quick. Close through the bullish order block, gap in here. That lines up with the Asian low of Sunday/Monday. So that's still the draw to me. Any of this inefficient portion with also the new day opening gap from Wednesday. So a lot of inefficiencies in this range and discount. Also rejecting off 50% of the rejection block here. The 6 a.m. was that London high, I guess. No, right outside London high. So close through the CISD. I still wanted to see it disrespect these bullish order blocks and fair value gaps on the way down. Tiny sibi in here. It's 10:15, so we still got 15 minutes, 45 minutes, I guess, till 11 o'clock. So plenty of time to create a new low. Now that 9:47 sell side is the AM low for the morning. So at a minimum, you want to see this hit by 11 o'clock. Obviously, reaching to these would be extra, but preferred. Also, if we form a short-term high in this premium inefficiency, or even a short-term high after, now, like if we get something like this, intermediate term high, then formed at 11, 10, 11. You have a short-term high to the left of it, short-term high to the right of it. That counts as an intermediate term high. So still a short-term high for now. But on the higher time frame, we did fill the gap. So same kind of logic there with an intermediate term high. Filling a gap, trading lower, short-term high after that. I'm going to move this. But watch how we treat these bisis. You want to see bearish closures through 50%. And we can hold that CISD too. Oh, I was going to cover. So there was supposed to be a. Actually, I'll still make one. I'm going to put out a psychology PDF if you're interested in that. That'll be posted in either the Q&A section. I'll put one out there. But we'll cover that in the backtesting session too this week. So either later today. All right, let me set the poll out right now. If you want to vote, go ahead. It's either going to be today or tomorrow. And we'll cover the 930 model if you're interested in that. It has something to do with DTT. So if you're not interested in that stuff, then don't worry about it. And then we'll cover psychology too. All these wicks still holding the CISD too. Let me set up the poll. So today at, well, like 1 p.m., 7 p.m., 5. And then tomorrow at so watch how we fill this premium inefficiency. If there's no respect of it, then you'll see that high taken, then that high taken. Be kind of like a chain reaction, I guess you could say. So last kind of line of defense. And then we'll do 7 p.m. There's your high. So not interested in shorts rest of the morning. Most likely we'll see the AM session high go. See that 3-minute fair value up here holding. Let me type that up in predictions chat too. Anyway, so yeah, take a vote on that if you can. We'll wrap it up today. Definitely a slow day. Good way to start the week. We've got news spread out there the rest of the week, so expect some decent price action. You prefer to see AM session high go, especially if DXY is trading lower now and into their discounted balances. So good seeing you guys after a long weekend. I'll send the stream recording out as soon as that's done rendering. Stay safe the rest of the day, follow your rules, and we will talk soon. Peace.